Good morning, and thanks so much for watching. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Stella Escobedo, joining you from home, working from home like so many of you. We do have a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and start right now. The coronavirus, as you know, continues to spread with more cases being reported every single day. So we have some numbers to catch you up on. Let's take a look. More than 471 Americans have died from the coronavirus, with more than 35,000 U.S. cases confirmed since the outbreak. In San Diego County, there's now a total of 205 confirmed cases and one confirmed death of a local resident. Eric.
All right, Stella, we'll check back in with you. With the first county death being reported, local leaders are urging people to just stay home. This is how our local beaches looked this past weekend, packed. And it was pretty surprising to see just days after Governor Gavin Newsom directed all Californians to stay home. News 8's Netta Ronapur joins us live from Mission Bay. How are things looking out there right now, Netta?
Well, it was raining just moments ago, so of course that's part of the reason people are not necessarily out and about, but also this is another big reason. These barricades are up. We're right here at Ventura Cove. This is one of the parking lots if you want to access Mission Bay, and the parking lots are currently blocked off. That's a way the city of San Diego wants to keep people from gathering. At least if they're not gathering in the parking lots, they may not crowd the beaches, because really we saw a lot of that over the weekend. Let's take you to North County first and show you what it looks like in the city of Carlsbad. If you were out and about at all this weekend, then you saw this. You can still walk, jog, and ride your bikes. You can even swim, surf, and paddleboard, but not when you're crowded together with other people. And that is what we saw all weekend long from the South Bay up to North County. And the whole point of the stay-at-home order is to keep that social distance, which people did not necessarily adhere to. Since they did not adhere to that order, we saw a video you could see of people packed at Cowles Mountain as well. They were walking right next to each other up and down those trails. A much busier weekend than normal at the local trails, the hiking trails, and the beaches. It was also crowded at Lake Murray, despite signs saying that it was closed there. People went around the barricades to access the lake anyway, and the city of Carlsbad is saying they issued a stricter warning now because of what they were seeing all around town.
People in Carlsbad love to go outside just like everyone in San Diego, and so we just felt like we needed a little bit more guidance and to help people avoid gathering in groups and also keeping that 6-foot separation.
So the island is closed for vehicles and bikes, but you can walk on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can somewhat hear that officer telling one of the drivers there no access to Fiesta Island with cars or bikes, but walking into the area is allowed. And as far as the latest cases go, the first fatality reported in San Diego County. County health officials say it was a San Diego resident in his early 70s, was being cared for in Santa Clara County. He had recently returned from a trip to Hawaii. The health department said on Sunday that the cases in San Diego County now total 205, and that's a jump of 46 cases in just one day. So as these numbers keep growing, that is a big reason why the city, the county, health officials all want to enforce these stay-at-home rules. Really right now, looking at Mission Bay, you see it here, it's very calm. There's no one really out and about, which is what the county wants people to do. City officials want people to do that as well. We saw officers throughout the weekend trying to enforce some of this, and really it's up to you to do it on your own to help flatten the curve, but staying at home is the key, the social distance as well. And when people are crowding those trails, the boardwalks, the beaches, it's really hard to maintain that social distance. Whether you want to or not, other people may invade your space. So that's why unless you absolutely have to go out, it's best not to. We'll send it back to you guys.
Netta, thanks for that. Earlier this morning, local leaders and the business community came together to announce an effort to support small businesses. Many employers across San Diego, of course, struggling to stay open or have been forced to close due to the coronavirus pandemic. News 8's Chris Groh is live from home now with more on what's being done about this. Chris.
And good morning, Eric. And the idea is here that we don't know when this is all going to end. So they want to put in a plan and some efforts in place to kind of get this moving and going forward, so you don't have to wait for the dust to settle, so to speak. So that's why County Supervisors Kristen Gaspar and Jim Desmond vocally pushed that there needs to be more done and to get that plan in to get the economy back and running with these local and small businesses. Now, they want these businesses to have relief during this crisis so that they can focus on their expenses related to staying in business and keeping their employees on the payroll. So they announced that they would defer all county environmental permitting fees for the next 6 months. Then they want staff to continue to take a look at other local regulations that they can either relax or get rid of for the time being to let businesses reopen, to have some more cash flow because they have closed. Now, the city of San Diego has already announced a $4 million economic relief package designed to help reduce fees from the city, provide certainty to businesses, and offer support for local employers. That was reiterated today as well, and more information was given out to small business owners. Then we heard directly from the North San Diego Business Chamber, California Restaurant Association, and restaurant owner Phil Pace of Phil's Barbecue about the challenges that these businesses are facing. Pace became very emotional when discussing how he's trying to make it all work.
You know, I came up with an analogy as I was letting employees go, that imagine the drain that is in your bathtub and the cash is just circling down. And I says, if we can keep that hole small, we can afford to be able to pay your health insurance, continue to serve to-go food.
Now take a look here at your screen. In a very cool moment after everybody was done speaking, the owner of a local company here, Screwball Whiskey, actually donated $100,000 to Restaurant Care. Now that's a grant program that was established here during the coronavirus pandemic in order to try to keep these restaurants up and running. It's a grant program. Restaurants and other businesses can go ahead and apply for that. Restaurants, actually, it's run by the California Restaurant Association. And the idea, again, is to support restaurants that need it, especially during this time. Back to you.
Wow, what a great move by Screwball. Thanks for that, Chris. Sure appreciate it. Negotiations over a bill that could put direct checks into the hands of many Americans stalled over the weekend, but Senate leaders say they may be close to a deal. House Democrats are also working on their own plan. Natalie Brand reports.
The Senate is expected to hold votes in another attempt to bring a nearly $2 trillion coronavirus stimulus package to the floor.
The motion is not agreed to.
Democrats blocked a procedural vote Sunday demanding more guardrails on funding for major corporations and additional resources for hospitals and health care needs.
We need the best bill possible. And what it has is, for instance, a giant corporate bailout fund with no accountability.
We had a good bipartisan bill developed on a bipartisan basis until the Democratic leader and the Speaker of the House decided to blow it all up.
Senate Republicans are trying to fast-track the legislation as 6 members are under self-quarantine, including Kentucky's Rand Paul, the first senator to test positive for COVID-19. Speaker Nancy Pelosi says House Democrats are also working on their own bill. President Trump has activated the National Guard and signed disaster declarations for Washington state, California, and New York. But some state and city leaders are calling on the White House to step up efforts to compel companies to make more life-saving medical equipment.
Every single day, there are people looking and saying, do we need to compel someone to do this? Let's make the call. Okay, they're already at max production. They're already working around the clock. And again, we are using the stockpile and FEMA to get resources out to people who need it.
Vice President Mike Pence will head to FEMA headquarters later for a conference call with state governors. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The CDC could release new guidelines later today that could make it possible for people exposed to the coronavirus to return to work quicker if they take precautions, such as wearing a face mask. In about an hour, the hospital ship USNS Mercy will depart Naval Station San Diego and then deploy to Los Angeles. With over 800 Navy medical personnel on board, the ship will serve as a referral hospital for patients who do not have coronavirus. So this will free up local shore-based hospitals so they can use their intensive care units and ventilators to treat people with the infectious disease. You know, there's been a huge spike in the number of people filing for unemployment across the country and here in California. A lot of people losing their jobs due to this pandemic, but there are some local resources that can help. News 8's Kelly Hessedall joins us live from the Mission Hills to tell us more about that. Kelly?
Yeah, and Eric, you know, one thing we've really been talking about is the San Diego COVID-19 Community Response Fund, which so far has already raised about $6 million. So one of the organizations that the fund has given money to is the United Way of San Diego County. Go ahead and take a listen to what the CEO told us just moments ago.
This is, of course, a very unusual time, and we recognize that people who were gainfully employed just a month ago are now finding themselves in this situation where, you know, they could be fearing for their ability to stay in their homes.
Anything else you want to say or add? And that is CEO Nancy Sasaki of the United Way of San Diego County. Now, the fund she's been talking about specifically is a new San Diego Worker Assistance Initiative. It helps low-income workers who recently lost their jobs, so folks maybe in the hospitality industry or retail, with things like paying rent and paying their utilities. She says since just last week, they've received more than 2,000 applications. So the need obviously is very great here in San Diego. To apply for this, we have a link on our website at cbs8.com. If you click on the hot button, I asked Sasaki how long it could take for people to hear back from the United Way, and here's what she said.
It's probably going to be a good 10 to 15 days before they hear from us, but we will get back to them as soon as we can and help them as much as we can.
And up on your screen right now is information about the San Diego COVID-19 Community Response Fund. That is the larger fund to give to that distributes money to different organizations like the United Way to help San Diegans. And one thing to note is that all of the donations, all the money stays right here in San Diego. So back out here live, we do have a link set up on our website at cbs8.com. You can also go straight to the News 8 app to donate as well. But for now, we'll send it back to you.
Kelly, it's great to see so many San Diegans stepping up to help out, and you still have time to help out as well. Just head to our website.